Hi everybody, welcome to Paper Wishes Weekly Webisodes. I'm Lene Gehrig, and today I am really happy to bring you from our friends at Hunky Dory Crafts, Moonstone's Moment in Time pop-up collection, cutting dies and stamps. We made some really spectacular things. Here's a card that my friend Debbie made, and bang, look at this great pop-up. So I'm going to show you lots more, so come play with us. So for this card that Debbie made, she used the Abundant Florals paper pack from Hot Off the Press. And I love how she used the stamp right here. Oh, I should mention this particular set is called A Bouquet for You. And it's got the coordinating stamp, which she used for the front of the card. She also used this great collection. Oh, I buried it here under all of my goodies. This great collection of script greeting dies. Script greeting dazzle stickers rather, and these are wonderful sentiments for just everyday birthday and also holidays like Valentine's Day. They've got a really pretty font with them, and we use these quite a bit on these cards. And then she colored this here using, I believe, Spectrum Noir pens, but always remember you can click on the underlined photos on our blog page, and it will take you to the product page, and all the product pages have photos of these projects, and you click on the project and you'll have the whole supply list. And then on the inside she used ink pads to do this coloring. I love the inside. It's got this wonderful cream patterned paper, and then what Debbie did was she die cut this twice, once from this background, and then she cut it again, first from this light green paper that was also from the Abundant Florals, and then from the pink, and then she glued those on top before she did any folding, and then did a little bit of inking, and then did the folding process. So I should also mention that this is what the die looks like, just like this. And you cut the paper, you start with white cardstock, and you cut this to an A5 size. A5 is actually 5.8 inches wide by 8.3 inches long, okay? And you take your die and you mark at the halfway point with a little pencil marks right there. And then you place your die right in between there. And then these little parts of the die right here, that's where your fold is going to be for the inside of your card. You run that through your die cutting machine, and then you can just embellish, and inside of every pack here, I'll take it this way, you open this up and it's got a great step-by-step tutorial of where to make your folds, and it consists of mountain folds that are in red lines and valley folds which are in green lines, and it even gives you a description here of what mountain folds and what valley folds are, and gives you a little glossary there. And then the photos are step-by-step directions on how to fold. I love that Hunky Dory does that. It's just a great teaching tool. All right, so let's look at another card. This one is from Paris with Love. This one didn't have a stamp set with it that we carry. I believe one exists that we just didn't happen to grab it in time. So this one, you open this up and it's just got this great Paris skyline scene, okay? And I made this card, and I loved using all the different ink pads, and to do some coloring I actually just used cotton swabs to do the coloring on the skyline, and then to do the clouds in the background excuse me, I used a blending tool. Okay, and then to give sort of a look of water, I used the same blending tool in the same color, although I just didn't blot in between, so you can see sort of the brush marks there, and just to give it a little bit of texture. Okay, and then got this card set. This one is The Perfect Pair, and I'm going to actually show you with this card how to do this process. So let's start off with, here we go, the card. So this one has two little adorable lovebirds, so cute. And what I did was I stamped my lovebirds using this coordinating stamp, and I just used from Spectrum Noir the Finesse alcohol proof ink pad. This is rustic brown. And then I colored that with, oops, the tri-blend markers that I love so much. And just let me give you a little test here before we open the card and get into that, of exactly how I colored my little lovebirds. So the first thing I did is I took, this one is blue turquoise blend, and I started off with the lightest color in this darker shade of blue. Okay, and then I just did along the top of the head, right? And then before coloring that with a lighter shade of blue, I used some yellow. This one is light yellow blend, and I used the darker shade. So it's got light, medium, and dark shades all in one pen. And what I did there is I colored the beak, and I colored the face, and I colored the breast of the bird here. And now I can go to the lighter shade of blue, and I'm just going to color in my bird. And as I'm coloring that, I'm just sort of picking up the color of this dark turquoise, blending that with this lighter shade of blue. I'm using this different shade of blue. This one is, as I said, ice blue, because I found that even the lighter shade of the turquoise was just a little too bright. So I wanted to blend this down a little bit more. Like that. All right. And then for the flowers, I took a dark shade of pink. Oh, here it is. So I took the medium on the darkest shade of pink, and I just really just did a little circle around each flower. And then I went to the darkest shade. This one is pale pink blend, my dark end. And I just blended that dark pink and that light pink together. There we go. So there's just a real pop of color on the inside. Then we went back to that yellow pen and just did a little dot of yellow in the center. And then for the background, see there's some blue down here. Before coloring in all of my different colors, I'm going to grab my craft mat here. And I'm going to just grab one of my blending tools. This is the smallest blending tool. And I just blot that a little bit. And I will end up cutting this down to a smaller size so it fits on my card. I just added some blue around the bottom edge like that. Sorry, we're going off camera there. Let's try this. Okay? All right, so let's take a look at the inside of that card. There we go. In the inside, we see the same birds. Here we go, for this die, and how that looks when you die cut that from your paper. It looks like this. Okay? And before doing any of the folding, when I got to this part, this is where I ended up taking my cotton swabs and doing a little bit of coloring. And the best way I can describe that is I just took a Post-it note. This one has my dimensions for my A5 card. And I just placed it right there under the birds. And I'm going to do that same coloring techniques I showed you with the pens, but this time I'm going to do it with my ink pads. So I'm going to be doing this process right here. So the first thing I'm going to do, is start off with my darkest shade of turquoise. There we go. And I just do along the top edge, and then I do the wing. That. And I'm going to add some yellow from the yellow and green set. These little cat eye cues, Debbie and I use these a lot because it's just the perfect amount of color, and they're really highly pigmented, so we use them a lot. They stick around for a long time, holding their color. Okay. And then there's sort of an ochre color here that I like to put on the beak. And I also add that just around the eye. There we go. Can we zoom in on that a little bit, Houston? Now, oops, I was using the wrong end. I'm going to take my lighter shade of blue, this, and I'm going to finish off my wings here. And I just sort of pick up the little areas I don't want to have ink on, and I'm just moving this paper around really like a mask. Like this. Okay. All right, so that gives you the idea of how we do that. All right, so let's take a look at the folding process. So for this particular card, let me grab the folding instructions here. I thought this was such a clever use of using these folds. All right, so we're going to start here with the center of the card. We've got our birds right here, and it says it's a green, so it says to make a mountain fold and a valley fold. Okay, so we're starting with the birds. The green is the valley fold, so we're going to go down with that, down with that. But the one right below it here, this is a mountain fold, so that's going to go up. So I'm going to pinch that, and I'm just going to go along and take care of all these different folds so that when I open, here we go, and close, everything works together, okay? So it's a very easy process. You just start with a particular area and you just read the little plan here and do your folds, okay? I would really encourage you to check out our money saver that we have on this collection. It is a great buy. As you can see, we made a lot of things that are sort of Valentine inspired, but they're also great for celebrations and birthdays throughout the year. So check out the money saver. It's on the right side of the screen. Click on that and it'll give you a description of what everything is. If you're watching us on YouTube, check the description below. That's where you'll find the link to the money saver and also a link to paperwishes.com, and that'll take you back to our homepage where we have lots of videos and all kinds of goodies. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.